Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Y'all sit down. We're not even 1 week into 2025, and baby, the devil is busy. And apparently, it lives in West Virginia. You guys, sit down. This is a trigger warning. I'm telling y'all, the evil you're about to hear, I didn't believe existed, but it does. Let me give you guys a rundown before we actually get into the case. There is a nurse. She works in the neo-intensive care unit. If you guys don't know what that is for intensive care for um babies, for preemies, for little children fighting for their life. And in that time that they are the most vulnerable, and a parent gives complete trust to people that they are praying, are fighting with heaven and earth to save their children. This nurse was breaking the bones of of the babies. That's right. You heard it. Not only was she doing this, we're going to get into the details, but guess what? They knew she was doing it, took her out of for a year in 2023. It was bought up. They took her, put her on paid administrative leave for a year while they investigated and brought her back in 2024. And when she came back, she did it again. Not to one child, not to two, not to three, not to four, not to five. 8 cases that they know of, and they are still investigating. You guys, oddly enough, all the children, all the people in the neo intensive care unit, oddly enough, they were all black. But I'm sure that's just a coincidence, right? Yeah, let's get into this, you guys, because this cannot stand. And that whole hospital needs to be investigated because how did this happen? Let's get into this story because the details are going to just horrify you. This is the nurse right here. This is the scumbag. This is the evil incarnate. This is the hell on earth. This is the woman that did countless things. She was caught for a bu at the three premature babies suffered fractures at a Virginia hospital. They said a former nurse was arrested for, child a bu in connection to a horrifying incident that left three. At the time they wrote this, it was three. I believe it is now up to 8, and they are looking for other victims. 3 preemies with unexplainable fractures at a Virginia hospital. Which, sorry, I might have said West Virginia. This is Virginia. Sorry, West Virginia, for even accusing you of housing such evil. With Now get this, for unexplainable fractures at a Virginia hospital. Now, interesting enough, they closed the neo-intensive care unit. Okay? Now, mind you, they didn't close it last year when they bought her back and they found more evidence that monster was even hurting the preemies. That's when they just all happened. This all happened Thursday and Friday. Erin Elizabeth Ann Strotman, age 26, let her be named and let her be shamed, was charged with malicious wounding and felony child abuse over the disturbing preemie injuries at Hernia Doctors Hospital in Richmond last month. They were found with unexplained broken bones in late November and early December. This is according to the Henrico County Police. The chilling violence comes after 4 preemies, including a newborn with a fractured leg, were hurt in the same unit in the summer of 2023. You guys need to remember, this are people that were known. These are people that knew about it. There could be countless other injuries. I'll get into why that's a possibility now. They are probing dozens of videos from inside the NICU, and detectives are re examining the 2023 and 2024 cases as part of this broader investigation. The police are utilizing all available resources to ensure a thorough investigation into this matter. In December, Dominique and Tori Hackey spoke out about how they were heartbroken to discover their preemie baby Noah suddenly couldn't move his leg at a hospital in September 2023. They said it was kind of discolored. I told the doctor on staff, got some x-rays, and we determined he had fractures to his leg. So we're going to splint it for the next 2 weeks. Then she was like, do you want to hold him? Now, here's the thing. This is why it's so crazy. Because I believe they tried to frame the family for this. Think about it. The hospital had, first of all, how are babies getting unexplained broken bones? The individual parents might notice it's not know it's a trend, but the hospital did. How was all this happening and they just didn't care? They were like, loo, 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 and moving on. So the crazy nurse came in and was like, yo, we did some x-rays to your son's leg, and yeah, it's broken. Anyway, here's your baby. Do you want to hold him? Now, thank God I don't know if they have a medical background or a legal background, but thank God God was with these parents. And they were like, what? No, let's get a medical evaluation. They refused to hold the baby. Now, if they had, the first thing they probably would have did, the baby was swaddled up. The first thing they would have did probably is go and check the baby's leg, like, oh my God. And then they would have had the parents on camera checking the baby. And then they could have said, this is what I think. They could have said, oh my God, you did this. You did this. You did this. But instead, they wouldn't allow that to happen. And if they said you did this, what would have happened after that? We all know how this goes. Child social services would have been called. They would have been investigating the family. Oh, it's a Black mother and father. Maybe they're a little bit upset. Before everybody's saying, why are you bringing race into this? I'll tell you why. Because every victim that they found so far was a Black child. Every single victim, Black child, Black American child. So this is what the mother said. I'm sorry, Dominique, the father said his leg was kind of discolored. I told the doctor on staff, did you get some x-rays, right? They were like, oh, we determined he had a fracture in his leg. So we're going to splint it for the next 2 weeks. And then the nurse was like, do you want to hold him? Now, Dominic said, in my mind, I'm like, I don't want them to turn it around on us and say we broke his leg or anything like that. So I was like, no, we don't want to hold him. We're just going to process this. Now get this. The hospital, and that quick thinking saved probably not only their baby's life, but also years of being harassed by child social services, because the hospital would have accused you of child abuse. You see what I'm saying? Thank God. But how pathetic and sad and just disgusting that you are trusting strangers to look after your child in a preemie ward. And these people are breaking legs and also trying to frame you. And at the moment when you see your child so vulnerable, you want to hold them, you want to protect them, you want to just love them and pour into them, and you're praying they make it. You have to have the foresight to be like, no, I cannot even hold my baby because you will turn it around on us. This hospital needs to be investigated. Every part of this hospital, I believe, knew what happened. It's impossible for them to not, and they didn't care. Get this. The hospital is currently no longer accepting babies into the neonatal care unit out of abundance of caution, and has taken steps to beef up security. They said in late November, December, we discovered that 3 babies in the Hernia Doctors Hospital NICU, Neo-Intensive Care Unit, had unexplainable fractures, similar to an incident involving 4 babies in the summer of 2023. We initiated a thorough internal investigation, informed the families, and notified the proper authorities and regulatory agencies, and worked collaboratively with them on investigations. They said the hospital is shocked and saddened by Strotman's arrest. She was a former employee of the hospital. She was just fired this Friday. If you guys are watching this, I think this is January, what's the date? January 6th. Uh, Friday was January 3rd. She was fired on January 3rd, 2025. 2 years after a family actually called her out on what's going on. Strotman was a former employee of the hospital, but the hospital wouldn't give her specific title. She is reportedly noted on social media. She graduated as a registered nurse in 2019. Details about the injuries the baby suffers weren't immediately clear on Friday because, again, it looks like the hospital is trying to do a follow up. She has been arrested. She has been charged with felony. Um, um, Erin Elizabeth Ann Strotman has been charged with malicious wounding, child abuse, and neglect. Staff members discovered that 3 babies had the unexplainable, right? Again, I have some questions for this. I have questions. Why didn't you guys immediately take her off shift? We've all been into the hospital. There's only so many nurses on shift. Nobody said anything about it. Why didn't you inform the families? Why did you conduct an investigation and then bring her back a year later only for her to do it again? And when you found out it was happening again, you guys didn't pull her off. And what happened in 2022? What happened in 2021? What happened in 2020? Moreover, how many parents were accused of hurting their own children, investigated, lives written apart? And if you guys want to hear something that's really sick, something that will really blow your mind, let me just say this. When the reporters reached out and said, oh, well, who are the parents, this and that, the hospital was being really cagey. So one reporter had the foresight to say, wait a second, were all the babies still alive? And the hospital said they couldn't confirm or deny that whether the children, the 8 that they found so far that she abused, whether they are still alive. Yeah, let that sink in. Y'all, there's evil in this world. Hold your loved ones tight. And also, you know what? I'm praying for justice for the family. I'm praying that hospital gets ripped apart. And I'm praying that anybody that is either responsible or turn a blind eye or partake, I am hoping it bounces back on them by 3 million fold. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. The families are fighting for justice. We are prayed with the families. I'm going to follow this case, but yeah. This monster, this piece of shit. I wish her nothing but nothing ever good. Thy will be done. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.